Okay, 8.4 is trigonometric substitution. Okay, so from here, these are the three things that we're going to look for, and we're going to, depending on what they look for, is what trig function we're going to be using. And what sign they tell you what to use. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of examples so you know exactly what I mean. Okay, so here they say they're going to, like for example here, they say let u be a sine of theta. So they're going to tell you what to use u as, okay? Here we're going to do a right triangle, then we're going to use SOHCAHTOA. Sine opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent of theta equals opposite over adjacent, okay? And we're going to be doing these triangles within our examples, okay? So I want to show the examples. So my first example, it's right here. Okay, let's use x as x equals 3 sine of theta. Okay, so I'm going to draw a right triangle. I'm going to identify theta. I can rewrite this as sine of theta equal to x over 3. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is going to be x. My hypotenuse is going to be 3. So to find this missing side, we're going to do the hypotenuse squared minus the opposite side squared, and we're going to do the square root. That's where this one comes from. 9 minus x squared would be my adjacent side, okay? So that's what we have so far. Then from here, here we have sine. I'm just going to rewrite it one more time. So we're going to have sine of theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. And then we have also cosine of theta, which will be my adjacent over my hypotenuse. Okay. So from here, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to solve for x in this case. So to solve for x, we're going to multiply the 3, and we have 3 sine of theta. We're going to take derivative of that. Okay, derivative of sine is just cosine d theta. Okay. Well, here we also have x squared. So I'm going to do x squared by squaring both sides. So I'm going to have 9 sine squared of theta. And I'm going to do a substitution. My trig function is 1 over x squared square root of 9 minus x squared dx. Let's substitute stuff. I have my integral of 1 over, instead of x squared, I'm going to have 9 sine square root of theta. And then here, I'm going to multiply the 3 over. So I'm going to have 3 cosine of theta equals 9 minus x squared. So we are going to have 3 cosine of theta. And dx, my dx is going to be 3 cosine of theta, theta. So what happens here in this case? The 3 cancels, cosine cancels, and it simplifies to, I'm going to take out the 1/9, 1 over sine squared theta, theta. Well, that could be rewritten as 1/9 square root of cosecant squared theta. If we look at our formula sheet in the previous slides, the integral of this is negative cotangent. So there is a negative 1/9 cotangent of theta plus c. But I need to rewrite it. So I need to go back to my triangle and find cotangent. So tangent is adjacent over opposite. So it's going to be adjacent over opposite. So it's going to be 1/9 adjacent over opposite. Finally, 9 minus x squared over 9x. Let's see. On this one, I have dx, and then we have square root of 9x squared. In this case, I have plus 1. Okay. So, in this case, they tell me to use x as 1/3 tangent. I'm going to let me rewrite that. 1/3 tangent of theta. I'm going to multiply the 3, so I got 3x equal to tangent of theta. I'm going to put it over 1 to have a ratio. When I do my triangle, and I identify my theta, have right triangle, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So to find this side, we're going to square those two and square root it. So that's where the 9x squared plus 1 comes from. Okay, that will be my hypotenuse. Well, from here we have our tangent, we have our x. What else do I need? In a little bit, I'm going to need secant. I'm just going to do secant. Secant, it will be adjacent. No, hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse over adjacent. So it would be 9x squared plus 1 over 1. Okay. We need that right now. So let's do our substitution. Oh, actually not yet. If x is 1/3 tangent of theta, derivative of this will be 1/9. Okay. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. 1/3 secant squared of theta, d theta. Okay. So let's substitute that. So then we got the integral. My dx will be, well, 1 over here. Remember here, instead of writing 9x squared plus 1, which is my denominator, we're going to write secant of theta. My dx, I'm going to write it over here on the side, and I got the 1/3. And then we have my secant squared of theta. So the 1/3, I can bring it outside. One of the this secant counts as one of the secants, so it simplifies to 1/3. And then it's going to be my secant theta, d theta. Okay, the integral of secant, it's another formula. So it will be 1/3 natural log of secant plus tangent. But remember that we gotta rewrite them, which that is why we had secant and tangent up here on the top. So secant, it will be the square root of 9x squared plus 1. Plus, instead of tangent, it will be 3x plus c. And that will be my answer. Okay, I got one more example, and then we'll call it a day. For this next example, even in WebAssign, it will tell you to use the formulas. What formulas are they talking about? The formulas right here. If you have the square root of a squared minus u squared, or the square root of u squared minus a squared, or the square root of u squared plus a squared, we can use these formulas that we're given. So in this case, I don't have a fraction, I only have this right here. So we need to identify what is a and what is u. My a, which is my number, will be 7, because 7 squared is 4. My u, well, I need to square root it. The square root of 49 is 7. So it's going to be the square root of 5, and the square root of x squared is x. Okay? So what formula I'm going to use? The formula will be a minus u du. And the formula says 1/2 u a squared minus u squared plus a squared arc sine of u over a. Okay, that's the formula. You can go back to the slide. I just copied it from the slide. So pretty much just substituting it. So it's going to be 1/2. U is 7. Square root of 49 minus 5x squared plus a squared. A is 7, so 7 squared 49. Arc sine of u over a. Again, just identifying what's a, identifying what's u, and substituting into the formula. Okay, and that is